phenomenal cosmic power. Itty bitty live in space.
Itty bitty studio.
All right.
All right. And away we go.
Ah, Christ.
Good morning.
Another glorious morning. Makes me sick.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the
Ready Set Radio Show.
Good morning, apartment. Good morning, doorway. Morning, wall.
And welcome to an episode of Floaty and the Blowfish. My name is Floaty. Over here to my right is the beard, and over there in the booth, like a physical representation of Darius Rucker's solo career, is J-Dubs. You guys, welcome back. Welcome
the
back.
Blowfish.
Yeah, that's the Blowfish over there. You guys, welcome back to the station for another episode. How was
I forgot all about that, dude.
You forgot about the
I
Blowfish.
forgot about that.
We talked about that yesterday.
Oh, my God.
That's
that
a lot.
was a funny thing.
That's several drinks between then and now.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't forget. I actually wrote it down. I wrote Floaty, Blowfish, Darius Rucker Dubs. Those are my notes for today, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that was a good one. I forgot all about that.
So, Dubs, you were saying something last week about a Lady Gaga concert or something?
Yeah. I didn't pull it up in front of me like we talked about earlier.
We weren't prepared at all.
But, 2.5 million people.
That's too many people.
Yeah, that's the standing record now.
All right.
Yeah.
We're not at our scenario in stereo, but imagine you got there to that concert to see Lady Gaga, and you're the last one in, and you're all the way at the back.
Oh, God.
Back row.
You know what song plays in that one? Her opener.
I live for the applause, but you hear it a minute later.
Yeah, and it's way over there.
The people in the front row are almost at their car before you realize the show's over.
Oh, man.
Oh, poor bastards.
Well, we didn't even get to it last week, so
Yeah.
but I felt it was definitely worth mentioning. So.
Yeah, I mean, so full disclosure, this was us trying to link our episodes together, but
yeah, try and create some sort of continuity that we're
Copacabana.
Concert. Funny enough, man, I just heard that song this morning, and my wife was like, "Oh man, that's such a fun song to wake up to and listen to. That's a good." And I was like, "That's not a fun song at all."
I got
you have
one
any
better
idea
than
what
that.
that song's about? People die in that song.
Guess how much
There's a shooting.
Guess how much the tickets were?
it's $5.
Man, if that many people went, it couldn't have been much.
Oh, for Lady Gaga?
Yeah.
Just general admission, I don't know, 110?
What do you think?
I was gonna say less than 100, but
Free.
Free?
It was a free show.
I told you. That's the only way you get
It was at Rio's.
2.5 million people to show up to anything.
Yeah, it was a free concert at Rio's Copacabana Beach. Yep.
And I just realized you might not have noticed what song I was talking about, but the song was Copacabana.
Yeah.
Her name was Lola.
I was about
She
to
was a
continue.
showgirl.
People
Yeah.
get shot in that song?
That whole song is about her
Hey,
her
pull the-
lover being a bartender and getting shot by somebody who was trying to hit on her because she was a showgirl dancer.
Google those lyrics, Dubs. I'm interested in that. So
Yeah, it's a
who's Copacabana in my brain?
um
Neil Diamond or
No.
one of the Barry Manilow?
funny enough, man, I
One of those
actually
guys?
saw it on an episode of the Muppets and it was sang by Liza Minnelli.
Oh, so you were seeing someone perform it.
Yeah, I don't know who wrote the song, but that's what the song is, and it's about
Wait.
it's about Lola's boyfriend getting shot.
It just clicked that you said that they were performing it on the Muppet Show.
Yeah.
And it's a song about killing someone.
Well, yeah, and
I need these lyrics,
they had
Dubs.
Muppets acting the crap out and everything. It was hilarious.
How do you spell Copacabana?
Copa, C-O-P-A, Cabana.
There you go. I got it up, but I don't know how you...
Just read
Here.
them. Just read them.
I don't read here.
Walk them over here then. I'll read them.
Her name was Lola.
Look
She
it
was
up
a
yourself.
showgirl.
Look it up myself. Lola did some bad things.
No, it wasn't Lola. She was a dancer at the Copacabana. There was a customer just there watching the show and wanted to talk to her after she was dancing and
All right.
got a little handsy, and her boyfriend, the bartender, came flying in. There was a scuffle.
I got you right here, man.
Yeah.
So I've heard this song a bunch in my life, but I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever paid attention to the lyrics. I'm going to read it without knowing what's coming up next. So her name was Lola. She was a showgirl with yellow feathers in her hair and a dress cut down to there. I'm assuming titties. She would merengue and do the cha-cha. And while she tried to be a star, Tony always tended bar. Across the crowded floor, they worked from 8 till 4. They were young and they had each other. Who could ask for more at the Copacabana, blah, blah, blah. Copacabana, his name was Rico. He wore a diamond. He was escorted to his chair. He saw Lola dancing there. And when she finished, he called her over, but Rico went a bit too far. Tony sailed across the bar, and then the punches flew. Oh, damn. And then the punches flew, and chairs were smashed in two. There was blood and a single gunshot, but just who shot who? Dude!
Yeah.
Who would have known?
Yeah.
Is there more? Hold on.
Yeah, there's more.
Skipping down
It tells you about the rest of her life. And
then her name is Lola. She
it's
was
sad.
a showgirl, but that was 30 years ago when they used to have a show. Now it's a disco, but not for Lola. Still in dress she used to wear, faded feathers in her hair. She sits there so refined and drinks herself half blind. She lost her youth, and she lost her Tony. Aw, dude.
It's a sad song.
Now you know who died. And now she lost her mind.
Well, yeah, he died, but you don't know who shot who.
So who shot him?
Rico.
Rico, you son of a bitch. This is the Copacabana. And that's Barry Manilow, by the way.
That's who it was, because it was even mentioned. I should have known that, yeah.
I feel like we just created a brand new segment for our show. It's like, what did the lyrics say?
Songs breakdowns.
Hey, actually,
down a song?
I think that's. I don't think you're far off the mark, and I think there's a couple other ideas that we have in the bank that we could go with in that direction.
Yeah, I was thinking we could talk about segments that we might do.
I think maybe we could even spend a whole episode about that.
You want to try to like plan out and execute some segments right here, right now?
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
yeah, I think we should do that.
Well, we have a few already in the bag that you've seen before once or twice.
And you watched us come up with a new one right here just now.
We've done scenario and stereo a few times, several times on our show. Where
That's one of my favorites.
pick a scenario, name the song that goes with it. We have done drunk podcasting. We saw its birth, and we are going to bring that back at some point. But that was a segment that we did. We have another one that's in the works called Sound Science, which involves Mr. Jason.
Yeah, very cool one.
where
That's
he-
very
I'm
educational.
excited about
segment.
that one too. Yeah.
It's cool. It's funny and educational, where he explains something funny and fun about how sound works or sound-related issues.
Yeah, and sometimes he gets real in depth with it, like down to the physics and stuff. It's kind of crazy.
But we could think of other segments and try them out. Like
There's a couple we've talked about today, and the one that I mentioned, kind of piggybacking off the lyric one, was the band bio thing that we had, and I really like that one. I think that's a cool one.
oh yeah, there's a band bio in the message thread for the chat, J-Dubs. If you'll pull that up, and we can do a test.
Yeah,
I don't know what this one is. We had it auto-generated for us so that none of us would know the answer.
It's in our chat. I'll pull it up and read.
No, don't, because then you'll find out who it is.
Oh,
We're supposed to find out who it is from it being read. And I made sure that when he read it, that he knew who the answer was.
he just said he doesn't read.
Not that kind of reading. He's like me. I wouldn't read in front of a class either, man.
Yeah, I hate that shit.
It's unless I knew it. Like if I knew I had a book
Yeah,
report
And
or
of
something.
course, he sends me a damn.
So that's what I was saying. Like, I'll read it and let you guys do it.
Okay. But you already know who the band is, though.
I don't read, Floaty.
Hang on, J.
You send me a video or nothing.
Dude, I need pictures. I'm a visual kind of guy.
Yeah, you are.
Hang on, I'll pull it up and read it. I got you, J-Dubs. Wait a minute, where'd you send it?
Oh, wait a minute. You might have sent it to me.
I might have only sent it to him.
Yeah, you did.
Hold on.
Oh, well, then you can send it to him. But so this segment potentially could be like a quiz.
Bless you. Goodness.
Woo! I'm allergic to a good time.
Go Godzilla.
But we need to figure out a name for this segment if we decide to use it. But yeah, it's just
I also think that we've got a couple of real loyal fans out there that might like to help us name a few of these. We could leave it up to them in the comments.
Alex, Craig, maybe. Why don't you guys help us
David?
name this? David, yeah, help us name this. So
Here's the bio.
You're gonna read each paragraph, and then we'll guess after each paragraph
Okay.
and see if we can figure out
All right,
which
so
band it is.
first one. This singer went from a cowboy boot-wearing teen on a major country label to one of the biggest pop icons of the 21st century. Her ability to reinvent her sound from twangy ballads to synth pop bangers to indie folk meditations is only rivaled by her fan base's intensity.
Oh, that's so easy.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift. Is there more on there?
Yeah, of course it's Taylor
Is
Swift.
there another one down there?
Yeah. She writes her own songs, often about heartbreak,
Oh, no, is there other artists below?
Oh, no, that's just the rest of the thing. You said there was two.
Well, somebody ask a chat GPT or something to pick another one, because that one was lame.
Yeah, that ain't me.
Thank you guys for playing.
Yeah.
This week.
But that's the idea, and I really like that idea, and I think it goes kind of hand in hand with the lyric one that we kind of just figured out too.
Well,
that was a for example.
Yeah.
What would you name that segment of us?
So like that's what I want to ask Alex and Craig and all our people. You know what I mean? All our
There's the third one. What's wrong with me? Am I dying?
You're allergic to this bullshit.
Segments, they make me itch. I had another one that was kind of cool, and we probably could do this off the fly, but I came up with this idea for a segment called Mixtape Mount Rushmore. And it doesn't have to always be music related, but we each pick like our the goats of whatever genre or topic or whatever.
Okay, so like the goats of slasher horror would be Freddy, Jason, Michael, and
I was waiting for you to.
I'm thinking. I'm trying.
Freddie, Michael, Jason,
Leatherface. Yeah, Leatherface. Let's just say those are that would be the Mount Rushmore of slasher horror, right?
Right, and like we could come up with topics ahead of time that were really specific. Like, if we wanted to stick with the horror theme, be like top 5 Jason Voorhees kills. You know,
Ooh,
we could get deep with it, and we all could have our own take on it. And then that might let us discuss, like, oh, your number 1 was the sleeping bag against the tree. Mine was the pitchfork into the barn door, man.
Dude. You know what else I really liked is when
bag.
he put the circular saw blade on the weed eater.
I mean, I think the sleeping bag is probably secretly the goat. That's one of my favorites of all time. But I do like the pitchfork into the barn door.
I think if it's gonna be Jason, and for it to be a goat kill for Jason, it's got to involve the machete.
Well, then I think my favorite one is the handstand cut from nuts to neck in part 3.
Ooh,
yeah, that's a good one.
That's a contender for sure.
Yeah, I like that. Part 3 is my favorite of the Friday the 13th movies for sure.
See, I like part 3 a lot. It's the one. That's the one that's like made Jason iconic.
Yeah, he gets the mask.
Yeah, but in my eyes, you can't have the third one without the first 2.
So
like
real fast.
Yeah, so like you kind of have to have a package deal there.
Do you think you'd ever see like Art the Clown? Do you ever see that franchise?
That's who I should have said instead of Leatherface, because of fucking course.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you ever see that? Like, you know how they do the Freddy versus Jason? I could see them doing an Art versus someone
Art
else's.
versus Freddy would be my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, one guy who won't shut the fuck up and one guy who only mimes. Like,
if you put Art the Clown versus Freddy Krueger, take my money, take my house, take my car.
Yeah,
that's all.
I'll even come work on it for free.
Yep. I'll do some editing or some whatever you need.
Some production, whatever you need, man.
Got a lot of skills.
A lot of skills.
Well, you can go a little further down the rabbit hole. What if they ever put together a movie where it's a universe where all of these monsters, including the Universals.
Have you seen that one movie where it did it with all the old school monsters? It was like a Royal Rumble where they were all fighting in a big ring.
Battle Royale.
I can't remember the name of it, but it was
Monster Royale.
Yeah. There is a movie where a bunch of the old monsters got together and fought. We'll find it off there.
The only thing that I could think of is Monster Squad.
Google it, because there is definitely a movie of that.
Yeah. We're getting off topic though. Not that that's not something that
really.
Not that that's not something we're very well versed in.
We got time to kill, pal.
Oh, we got time to kill?
We got time to waste.
Oh, actually, is it time?
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, Floaty.
Yeah.
This one's for you.
Yeah. Watch me where I put my beer. Hold on. Speaking of that, watch me where I put this beer.
That played really well, I think.
See, you should have had me involved. We could have had lights. Nice job, fellas.
I was sneaking around that earlier when I was like, so can I like go on like mono? And you were like, no, man, you can't do that.
So wait, how did you guys play that? Did you make a button for it?
Yeah, I made the button today while I was editing. While you weren't looking at the.
I'm so proud of you guys. God damn it, I love you. That was fantastic.
It was fantastic. We were talking about doing that, and it just worked out really well there.
Was that the actual audio from the podcast?
No, you never sent it to me, and you never plugged that into the last podcast. That's why I was like, all right, bet. You ain't burying it.
Did I have that before I edited? Your version of it?
No.
Okay.
What, you're talking about that right there?
Yeah.
No, I just made that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Today, just now?
No, I made it earlier. Well, not today, but I made it earlier this past week.
This is the first time he's had it here at the station for us.
I'm loving all of that,
Yeah,
fellas.
watch
Thank
me
you.
where I put my beer.
Let's do it one more time.
Watch me where I put my beer.
I got to give you props on keeping it nice and short, too, J-Dubs. It worked out really well here.
The second time seems a lot longer, though, doesn't it?
Wait for it.
I love it. I like the little splash at the end.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Oh, man. All right, so I think the mixtape Mount Rushmore is a good idea.
Please like, share, and subscribe.
Oh, yeah, don't forget to share and subscribe and like and stuff. It already fell? Did you stop
Wait,
it?
hold on.
No, he didn't stop it.
It's
What happened?
yeah, we're having some.
We're
glitchy-
freezing and stuff?
Yeah, we're glitching and stuff.
All right, we'll be right back after we fix this technical issue.
Got sound?
There it is.
You know that feeling you get when you smell your first cup of coffee in the morning? It smells like success, like a cheat code for life. Well, that's the feeling you get when you gig with Grind and Brew Productions. Grind and Brew Productions. Sounds so good you can taste it.
And we're back.
Hey, do you guys think Mr. Jason watches every episode of this show?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
I know it's hard to. Like, all of us have podcasts and stuff we like to listen to, but we can't listen to everything. But he's got, J-Dubs has a podcast or two that we don't listen to, and I'm sure I have a few that y'all don't listen to. But, I was just wondering, because if he is, Mr. Jason, we have some serious questions about our podcast and how it operates. We need some tech advice.
Do we?
Yeah, we need to figure out how to get J-Dubs control over what's on all the screens in the room at any given time.
Without being at the computer that controls all the screens in the room at any given time?
And without messing up how the lighting works and how the cameras work and
That's
all that
not
stuff.
a tall order at all.
It's not. Well, I mean, Mr. Jason's taller than me, so, probably
I
right.
do believe he's actually the tallest of us.
Yeah, and I also want to upgrade our router situation. I'm tired of the lag issue, and if it means spending some money, we'll figure out how to spend some money to upgrade that. So, Mr. Jason, if you're watching, which you should be because it's your show too, let's get that shit figured out.
That's a hell of a point he just made. It's
Yeah.
your show too.
Yep, there's 4 of us on this show.
All right. So we were talking about the band bio segment and the lyrics segment that we came up with there, and
Mixtape Mount Rushmore.
Mixtape Mount Rushmore I thought was a pretty good one. What else we got?
I have one for you.
Oh,
Yeah, I call it, let me put my coffee down. It's called
hot coffee.
The Beard Has Notes. And it's basically you picking a subject that frustrates anybody that's, normal, and you just bitch about it for a second. but
Oh,
then-
so it's a grind my gears.
Yes, but at the end, you give it a twist, so you kind of give it a message or a change of heart at the end, but kind of like South Park, I really learned something today.
All right. So am I gonna try and do one of these live right now?
You want to try one?
I would love to try
I
one.
have some written. Would you like to read one?
Yeah, give me one to read and we'll see what happens.
Let me pull one up here.
Now, J-Dubs, I want you to get in on a close-up while I read this, and if you let me know which camera it is, I'll do my best to act toward it.
I was just gonna throw the Ready Set Radio logo up, but that's so much
Here,
better.
give it a read through, and I'll occupy our audience for a second while you read it through one. So J-Dubs, do you think that the drunk podcasting segment that you came up with is something that we should keep doing, or do you think that it was kind of a once in a while and shouldn't be involved in our reoccurring segments? Is less more?
It's more of I'm looking for the right subject matters, and stuff because what I'm running into is not everything is funny slowed down.
Really? Because the stuff you had for us made me laugh my ass off.
And I just gave my secret away too, so we're gonna have to edit that out.
No, you're finding real people doing drunk podcasting.
Well, I didn't, yeah, but anyway.
Well, if nothing else, I think I've mentioned it before, but I am jonesing to hear you do a drunk podcasting on Neil deGrasse Tyson, explaining some super crazy theory or fact about the universe in a drunk podcasting format. He's one of my favorite people that I see on podcasts because he's just a smart, but the way he describes things, he worked at how he talks about science so that it's approachable to everybody and how to speak in sound bites. So he knows how to have a conversation where everything he says can be used in a 30-second sound clip and make sense across the board.
Okay, two things.
That's awesome.
Two things.
I really enjoy listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson teach me some shit. So thanks for that. I'm bringing that up. Thing number two.
Are you ready?
I've got notes.
Let me set you up. Let me set you up. Ladies and gentlemen, a potential new segment to the Ready Set Radio Show. The Beard has notes.
All right, I've got notes. Tiny ones. Teeny tiny little baby notes. Let's talk about being a new dad. First off, nobody warned you about how many body fluids are going to come flying out of something that weighs less than a watermelon. Spit up, drool, pee, something that looked like pudding but smelled like vengeance. I've worn it all. I'm basically a chin-strapped bib at this point. Chin-shaped bib at this point.
Chin-strapped.
Chin-strapped. And so it doesn't fall off. And sleep, forget it. Your eyes close for 10 seconds and bam, that scream hits you right in the nervous system. It's like living in a punk show that never ends and the headliner is baby screams and the diaper explosion. But then, stupid thing. That little hand grabs your finger like it's the most important thing in the world. One gummy smile and suddenly you're gone, floating. Like even Floaty would say, bro, chill. That's beautiful. And you look at that squishy, wide-eyed burp machine and think, I'd take every soaked onesie, every 3 a.m. meltdown, every pacifier to the eye twice just to protect you. So yeah, I've got notes. And this one's a love song. You're my world, kiddo.
Aww.
I made a few changes.
That's fine.
But yeah, I like that segment. That could be fun.
Yeah,
that could be fun.
I was just writing some tests just to give you a couple ideas of what I was thinking when I brought the idea up.
I like that line about vengeance. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Here, don't even practice, but just read this one. Let's do a second test. Just read it. Don't even fucking practice it.
All right, not gonna read it or not gonna practice.
Hell yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, a test 2 of the segment.
I've got notes.
The beard has notes.
I've got notes, and I'm holding them in because I refuse to breathe inside that porta potty. Festival porta potties are not toilets. They're portals to emotional ruin. You open that blue plastic door, and it's like the devil himself microwaved a honey bucket. No toilet paper, no soap, just a pile of regrets, a broken lock, and someone's wristband floating where hope used to go. Hope goes to die.
Someone's wristband floating where hope goes to die.
Yes. And after you survive that little trauma tunnel, you get to pay $11 for a bottle of water and $19 for a soggy burrito that tastes like despair and lukewarm pavement. But hey, it comes in a biodegradable tray, so at least the planet feels better while you don't. Floaty spent $63 and came back with a taco and a lemonade the size of a thimble. J-Dubs tried to barter with a guitar pick and got laughed out of the nacho line. So yeah, I've got notes and heartburn. And a fear of blue plastic now.
That you were saying that whole thing, and it reminded me about the time that we were fortunate enough to bring one of our bands and play at Warped Tour. And
oh yeah,
and I will say that from personal experience that if you get to the porta potties before they open the gates, they're totally fine.
Oh, they're clean.
They're amazing.
They're clean.
They're perfectly fine.
And there's even a bit of peace to be had in those porta potties at that time of day. But a minute after, and no.
I was in a porta potty at Warped Tour before the gates opened, and I got in the porta potty and I did my business. And when I came out, there was a fence. That wasn't there before. There was no fence.
Welcome to the Matrix.
Anyway, I love the beard. The beard has notes, and I think that'd be cool for you to like bitch about some stuff that you have on your mind.
Yeah, and if I have a hand in writing them, and I it doesn't have to be something that I'm just reading for the first time, and I can be like, hey, wait, you want to know what really grinds my, and
shoelaces.
I think we could make it really funny. That'd be funny.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. I think that one could work. Let us know down in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so.
Please
click on the buttons and do the stuff. Not those, but the ones down there.
Yeah.
So I have on my
That's
list
just a fun
here.
graphic for your listening pleasure.
So I have another segment idea that I don't know if we're gonna be able to test it as well as my brain tells me we will, but it's called Clean Up That Lyric. And it's basically we take a song that's got like a R-rated or adult themed or like just naughty words in the lyrics, and then we try to like fix the lyrics to make them like friendly for kindergartners or like kid pop. I don't know really how to test that theory unless someone has an R-rated lyric in their head already. Besides like what's the first thing that comes to mind? Like let me lick you up and down until you say
Coolio's
stop.
Gangster's Paradise.
Is that R-rated?
I mean, it
I
could
don't
be.
think so.
I mean, it would be. It's safe.
What about fuck the police?
There you go.
Friend the police, kids. Friend the police.
Oh man.
Here we
Yeah, there's
Pop that popcorn. Pop that popcorn. Popcorn. Pop that popcorn.
pop that popcorn.
Hey! Okay, all right, bet.
That's what I'm kind of thinking of. I don't know. We would definitely have to have ideas ahead of time of what the lyrics we're going to be fixing is.
Yeah. See, I think that kind of segment is probably going to be best served if it's like, if we get some ideas from fans or in the comments about that kind of thing. Because like, I mean, I can't think of songs. I can't think of a good song just based on having a really.
Let's do it. Order a salad.
What about 9 Inch Nails? Like, I want to fuck you like an animal. I want to pet you like an animal, like a kitten.
Like a domesticated animal.
Well, we just learned it doesn't work if you sing the original lyrics first.
I want to feed you some wet and dry food. I want to pet you like an animal.
Yeah, that might be something there. That might be something.
Maybe.
But also, I think we all can agree that not every segment idea is going to be a banger.
Not at all. No, and I hope some of them are horrible. That's funny if they are.
Train wrecks are just as funny as segments that go well, I think.
I had another one for you that might be a train wreck because I put it for you because the word bops was the beginning of it. So bops with beard.
Oh, beard
I was
bops.
just like, hey, let's just throw it on Beard again and let's just let him talk about
Beard bops. What am I talking
a
about?
song or a band or an album that you're either currently listening to or you just love.
Ooh.
So tell us about that.
Let me tell you about something that I love. Oh, an artist.
And we'll be right back.
Hey, y'all, you ever got that fuck around and find out feeling?
Damn it, J-Dub.
Tell us what you hate, Beard. Wait, not hate.
No, it wasn't what I hate. It was actually something that I liked.
Something you like. Yeah.
Beard bops or Beard's bop or something
Bops
like
with
that.
beards or Beard talks bops.
Something like that. But a musical artist that I've been really into, and he kind of makes like a comeback every so often because I like his style. But Billy Squire.
Right on.
And I even got a wild hair and decided I wanted to learn a specific song because I was like, he's got some. It's such a like, I don't know, a killer groove, but it's just this really simple riff, and he basically just boxes out the entire song.
Do I see us?
And
Do you see us covering this in the future?
Maybe.
For the
I don't know. I was just something that I put my guitar on one day when I had a minute because it struck me in the moment. And I was like, let me see if I can figure that out real quick. Huh. Oh yeah, that's a cool riff. And next thing I knew, I had most of this song figured out. And
I mean, I will say that I've always kind of considered you an above normal Billy Squire fan.
Yeah, probably.
Because, like, I appreciate a couple of his songs, but I wouldn't say I know his catalog at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I know his catalog, but the songs that he's written and performed that I like span several albums.
Right.
So it's not even like a greatest hits kind of thing. So I would probably, especially for this day and age, I'd call that pretty spot on.
There's been moments in the history of this podcast where I've had the fleeting thought that, man, we could really make a niche about talking about albums.
Yeah.
But then I realize every time I have that thought that I have a hard time remembering which songs are on which album by which band sometimes. And like, it doesn't mean I haven't heard them or appreciate them as albums or as individual songs. But if we're talking like deep dive Led Zeppelin, know lots of songs and lots of riffs and drum parts and lyrics and stuff, but you tell you what album each of those songs is on, I'll get it wrong. I'll get it wrong every time.
Yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned Led Zeppelin for that because they have a history. They're infamous for not naming their songs in any way that makes sense, like lyrically to the song. It's always they're usually named something that's kind of not even off the nose. It's off the face. Like it's
It's off the head.
Yeah, they don't even. It's weird how they name their songs. A lot of their songs, not all of them are like that, but like
Do you
Black
have
Dog.
a preference, like when bands name their songs on the nose, like the name of whatever the chorus is? Or,
No, not necessarily.
Or do you prefer?
It depends on the style of the band to begin with.
Does
'Cause,
it does it even matter to you? Does a song?
It
matter?
does. The name of the song, I think, absolutely matters. And while I'm a huge Zeppelin fan, I think that the way they name their songs makes it hard to be able to go back and find a specific song you've heard without knowing the name. You know, like if you're in that casual fan kind of spot, then it makes it hard to find a specific song that you're looking for because the names don't reflect the song.
Right.
But then again, like I think that's even, you could probably say the same thing about a Day to Remember song names.
That's the first band that came to mind was the Day to Remember, but
I love their song names too, and they're
fun.
And yeah, and it's a way different style than Led Zeppelin, but also songs that it's like Billy Squier songs where they're named after the line in the chorus that you can pick out every time, and you will always be able to find that song because you know the name of the song because it's in the song. And there's a spot for that too, and it makes it easy to enjoy music casually that way.
I like that we got to this topic because it gives me a chance to do two things. One, that actually happened to me in the last few days where I knew the song, but clearly didn't know the artist and the name.
Right.
And the song was Your Love by, I believe, The Outsiders. And it's that Josie's on a vacation
Far away.
Yes.
Right. And so, like,
Come around and talk it over.
I'm very, very, very familiar with that song.
Yeah.
But
It's
I
a great
wasn't
song.
as familiar that it was called Your Love, and it was a band called The Outsiders.
Yeah.
And the second point is that allows me to shout out Craig for the second week in a row.
What up, Craig?
Third week in a row. You tell your kids you're the coolest dad ever, and we all agree on it. Anyway.
Hang on. Floaty's views are Floaty's views. They do not necessarily reflect that of the Beard. I have not met Craig.
The views and opinions expressed by Floaty on the Ready Set Radio podcast
Are his own.
do represent everybody else's opinion, regardless of affiliation.
Hey, look, I'm not saying I wouldn't trust you and you vouch for somebody, but I've never met Craig. So.
I'm pretty good at vouching for people, man. I don't accept, bad people and assholes into my life.
Yeah.
For the most part. But
is something wrong over there?
I feel like he's implying that I think that J-Dubs is an asshole, and I do not think that J-Dubs is an asshole.
Thank you.
That for a dollar.
But anyway, yeah, so Craig, shout out. That's twice in one episode and 3 times in 4 weeks or something.
Something like
Hey,
that.
did we lose our bum, 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 bum?
Who knows, man? We having
I know
I've
we-
been
issues.
looking for it.
I know we gained a button this week.
We got that. We did gain a button.
We gained a button.
What button did we gain? Yeah. Is that why you were asking about control over the lights?
Yes.
See? Should have just told me.
We'll have it ready for next week.
Should have just told me.
We'll have
Tune
it
in
ready
next
for
week where we turn this place into a disco, bro.
All right. What else we got?
For potential segments,
Well, yeah, that's what we were talking about.
there's this one called We Regret to Inform You. And in my brain, that was just one, two, or all of us taking a chance to just bitch about something. Calling out like a hot take or a call out or like a fuck you to someone. Like people that don't use their turn
J-Dubs,
signals.
we regret to inform you that...
That was
Just
wrong
kidding.
button.
Just kidding.
I don't know. I didn't really get too far into that one, but like,
It seems like a reiteration of Grind My Gears that doesn't necessarily belong to me.
right. And it could be like a round robin where it's like, instead of like a monologue, it could be like,
Yeah.
you guys ever fucking get behind somebody who doesn't have a license plate? And you're wondering like,
Hey, I
oh.
can get behind this. I'll start, okay?
Yeah, you will.
All right, here you go. Have y'all ever been on a podcast
No, what's that
with
like?
other people?
I don't know. What's that like? I'm not sure. Hold on. We're going to talk about experiences we haven't had. So have you guys ever been on a popular podcast?
No.
You guys ever been famous?
No.
Let us know down in the comments if you're famous.
And if you have any other segment ideas, something that we might be like, hey, that's a good idea. We could try that.
All right, so I've been tap dancing around this one because I know what it entails to test, and I didn't really want to do it, but I think it's funny.
Okay.
But the segment would be called Floaty-Vision.
Oh.
And I was thinking we basically like duct tape a camera to my face. and get a different experience of what the station looks like, what the show looks like. I really want to get them a point of view from J-Dub's perspective because we've talked about how where the booth is.
He's got the best seat
He gets to see this awesome set that we've put a lot of time into. When we're filming this show, Beard and I get to see the back of a cabinet and an empty desk chair and a whole bunch of floor space.
We don't get to see the camera monitor
and then way over in
that's happening in the show.
Way over in the corner, we can kind of see J-Dubs' head. Beards' view is even worse than mine.
Yeah, the closet's in the
So the thought came up about like, he's got the best view. Let's show it to the audience. Mm-hmm. And then from that, it came into, well, why don't I just get up one day pissed off about it? And I'm like, let me go show them what his view looks like. And then it turned into my head like,
yeah, I'm going to do it right now.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, the brain center of the whole operation. There's a camera
Dude, I
monitor
don't.
over
So
there.
as you can see from over there, where J-Dub stands during the show,
This is weird. I don't like this.
He gets to see
already.
this cool ass look, this show that you guys see on the finished product. But from our view, it looks like this. So that's what I get to see every single episode, while Dub gets to see like, all this cool shit from way over here.
Yeah, I'm not sure that this idea is
This isn't hitting like you thought it was, Bo.
So give it up for the greatest segment in the history of the Ready Set Radio Show. I'm not even sure where I left the cameras. I just pushed random buttons. That's what the application says for this show to be a producer. Can you push random buttons at random times?
Great, you're hired.
Do you like being a smart ass with two other smart asses?
Yes. Go on.
Not only do I like it, but apparently I'm getting better at it.
Sorry, wrong button.
Anybody else have any ideas for some possible segments?
Well, I
think
think
that's
I
all
still,
of them.
like I said, I think Floaty-Vision has legs. We just got to develop it more. And
Oh, there's Floaty's Facts.
I think it's going to be more based on a specific event
Floaty's
happening
Facts.
that is worth recording.
Or yeah, something like that. Yeah.
What, Facts?
Yeah, the facts would be cool.
Facts with Floaty.
Yeah, see, like when I'm having random conversations not on the podcast, a lot of times I'll be like, well, speaking of, and I'll have some random ass fact that I know about stuff. But when we're on the podcast, it doesn't happen as much.
Yeah.
You're like the WB frog. Whenever the cameras are on, hello, my baby.
Hello, my honey. Hello,
And then
my
the
baby.
cameras come on, you're like, rabbit. Rabbit.
Did he just call me a frog?
WB.
Called you a prince.
Albert.
Well, I guess we can move on to what I brought y'all the other week about the All-American Rejects. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I've been looking at that a little bit. Since he mentioned it, the All-American Rejects tour that they're currently doing is, in my opinion, one of the most creative tours that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Really sticking it to the man.
Just to recap it, right?
That's the whole point.
They're basically playing at people's backyards, their bowling alleys, their garages, and they're just kind of picking it as they go. They don't really have like a set schedule. They announce the shows day of or day before usually, and it looks like what we used to do several times, playing garage shows and like pop-up events and stuff, not at venues. And those are some of my favorite nights I ever had in my life, was some of those like garage band shows and backyard barbecue shows and stuff. Because it's all friends. It's all people that care about each
Backyard
other.
Bash.
Backyard Bash was a good example of that. Oh, man.
Yeah, that's
And
taking it back.
That's where that infamous
That's a good example.
I get my nipples on
and
Monday.
a very, very bad example, too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was a weird time in everybody's life.
Oh, yeah, I get my nipples tattooed. Yeah, so there was this one Backyard Bash. I'll tell the story as much as I can remember it. And there was this one lady there who had, I believe, cancer and had had her breast removed, but then implants put in. and she wanted to show everyone.
Now, I will interject real fast
Please do.
and say that this woman was highly intoxicated when all of this went down.
Everyone in the story was.
Yeah.
Everyone was at least mildly to extremely. And she was proud enough of the work the doctor had done to show them off as were. And then she was very boisterous in letting us all know that I'm getting my nipples tattooed on Monday.
No, she was getting her actual nipples put back on.
Whoa,
Wasn't tattooed.
what?
Yes, they had them on ice, and they were reattaching them.
Do we believe
Yes.
this lady? Have we had a
And she's just at
Have you
backyard
followed
bash
up?
Bro,
partying.
It
So
was weird.
Did
It was
you
like
follow
alien
up?
heads.
Do you know that this actually
No,
happened?
we never. I don't know. No,
Because she was drunk.
No.
She might have been partying outside listening to the
Yeah,
bands.
because like I'm
and
telling you
thought
what, that's
about
an Instagram reel I wanted to watch. Like,
You know she was messed up because she looked right at Billy and said, "I want to the shit out of you." We were all like, "Ah."
Hey, just to be fair to all involved in that story, everyone there was guilty of being like, "I'm drunk, let's do it." There was a lot of people that were very uninhibited with their lifestyles at that particular backyard bash, and it wasn't very family friendly of an event
At all.
But yet there were families there,
Yeah.
a couple of them.
And like, just to let y'all know how this was set up, this was like kind of a outskirts country like community, and it was down this road. And he had a huge ass, area that went down. His property was huge, but like we could literally see the neighbors but they would just step out on their back porch and just watch. And this dude, his stage, he just took the back rail off his deck, and that was the stage.
And we kept breaking the deck. Everybody did. Like there was like several holes in that deck by the end of the evening.
But dude,
Lots of twisted ankles.
The times were so good, man. That was some good times.
The train continues to crash.
Moving right along.
So thanks for letting us brainstorm our potential segments.
Yeah. Tell us which ones you liked. Tell us which ones you didn't like. What you think had legs, what doesn't.
We're just trying to bring you a unique podcast experience that no one else does. And like, we have this idea of doing a bunch of random shit every once in a while. So let us know if you like any of that. Alex, make sure you leave a comment this time.
Let us know.
Because we value your input, homie, and you should come on the show. I'm just putting that out in the universe. They say, speak what you want. I want Alex right here in this seat for an interview.
Yeah, we've got some hard-hitting questions.
You guys got any friends that you'd love to see come on the podcast just to talk to you and talk to us and make fun of each other?
We're down. Let us know.
Because
I got something to bring up real fast that we totally jumped over that's kind of incredible and at the same time scary as hell.
Was it Watch Me Where I Put My Beer?
No, it was not.
Put my beer.
Okay.
So, what would I tell you if while you think about this? All right, we always do this, the at the end of the podcast with the scenarios in stereo.
Oh yeah.
So I got one for you.
Oh, you have
okay.
a scenario in stereo.
I do.
You could have just led with that.
I could have, but I talk.
He talks in mysterious ways.
I talk in Quentin Tarantino movies.
Here, man, get yourself together. I'll set you up. So, ladies and gentlemen, for a segment we've done before and should be professional at executing, this is the newest edition of Scenario in Stereo.
Off the dome, too. J-Dubs
All right.
has never told us about this one, so we'll see how it goes.
So this is the scenario. What if you're watching Final Destination in a theater and the goddamn roof collapses?
Does the roof collapse because the building is shitty, or is there a storm? Or
We'll put the picture up
it
right
actually
here.
happened.
The movie is still playing as the firefighters are
Beard.
going through the rubble.
Beard, this actually happened.
Yeah.
The new.
So how did the roof collapse? Did the building just fall in? Was there a storm? Was there a fire?
Yeah,
how did it fall in? Did it just collapse?
Yes.
Then the song is oop, there it is.
Yeah, because if there was a fire, it'd be the roof is on fire.
Yeah.
Right. Came in like a wrecking ball, Miley Cyrus.
That's a good one, dude. That's
man.
a damn good one.
That's probably the best
What
one.
about Crush Me by Dave Matthews Band?
Crash? What about
the song
you mean Crash?
title might work, but I don't think the song itself works. That's a very different song.
that's ooh. Spicy.
Sledgehammer? Peter Gabriel?
Yeah.
Same
you
thing.
are on
Same thing, dude.
Let's ask AI.
What about At the Movies or Movies by Alien Ant Farm?
Dang.
The movies, yeah, that's a good one. that might actually be my favorite one of this one.
Funny enough, I don't have anything for this, man.
Not a bad scenario though, J-Dubs.
That's probably the most. Yeah, that's.
All right, well, I think that's gonna do it for this one, fellas. Let's.
Are we done?
I think so.
I could be done.
We're not.
Yeah,
done.
we're done.
I was just asking AI about this songs for roof collapse. Hold on. Oh, okay. It came up with End of the World as We Know It. Roof is on Fire. We knew that. Boom by POD.
Oh, nice.
Bodies by Drowning Pool.
God.
Demolition Man by The Police. And Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus. Hey, we were on to that, man. All right, so thank you guys for tuning into the Ready Set Radio podcast. We're going to do the exact same thing 7 days from now. J-Dubs, do you have any news things for us this week?
Yeah, give us your news break.
You got a news break?
Yeah, I got a news break.
We'll see you guys in 7 days. Same radio channel, same ready time. Or whatever Ellen DeGeneres said on her last episode. Goodbye.
Never mind.
No, you say it. Just say it.
Why?
I don't know.